Hi everyone, I'm Dominic from SnapLogic, and we'll be talking about next generation AI agent capabilities in SnapLogic. My colleague Jeffrey will be joining us to show off some of these capabilities in actual demos. So first off, SnapLogic is not new to this whole AI thing. We didn't just wake up when ChatGPT hit all the headlines. We've been doing AI since 2017 when we first introduced Iris. Some of the more long-time users may remember when that was announced. This is basically autocomplete, but for our graphical no-code development environment. Then we added machine learning-powered auto-link features to make it easier to join up two different data formats and align them. And then, of course, once ChatGPT arrived, we were quick off the mark with SnapGPT, which does exactly what it says on the tin. This is an AI copilot to help develop faster, again, inside SnapLogic's no-code graphical development environment. So far for traditional development, but then people started building AI-specific features and capabilities. And so we quickly rolled out the GenAI app builder, which is a toolkit to help people move faster and avoid having to reinvent the wheel every time they started a new project, which then became AgentCreator in October of last year as we started to move in that direction. And the great thing is that this early adoption has translated into real-world use cases. We have a couple of dozen customers using these capabilities in production. So not many of our peers can say that. Most people are still at the pilot stage, they have demos, they're evaluating. We have people getting real-world value in a variety of different domains, from sales to finance to marketing to people and to technology. So let's talk about a few of these examples and see how these AI capabilities in SnapLogic are helping these companies. So first customer I want to talk about is Spirent. So they provide competitive intelligence to their customers. And the problem was that assembling that information was taking a long time, 8 hours a week sifting through data by hand. That does not sound like a fun time or particularly productive. And SnapLogic is able to automatically provide those competitive summaries by reading through RSS feeds, things like that, latest industry trends, all sorts of information on the target accounts. So that doesn't just help get rid of those 8 hours a week of manual work, it also gets the information into decision makers' hands faster, which helps with their efficiency and improves the outcomes for everyone. So the SnapLogic AI agents at Spirent are consuming daily news alerts coming in from feeds such as RSS, with all of that competitive and industry-specific information, summarizing them and putting them in the context of each customer, and then appending them directly to the Salesforce-powered dashboard that those users will be looking at. So here's what that dashboard looks like. So all of this information is being pulled from those third-party sources, assembled into the context of that particular user, and presented in the dashboards that they're already using. Another example is from Digital Federal Credit Union, DCU. So they have over 1 million members, they have nearly $10 billion under management, and they were struggling with their fraud detection. They have a process called account takeover to detect when that happens. That was already implemented with machine learning, but the review process of the output of that ML model was still manual and time-consuming. It was taking 25 hours per rep per month to go through those results whenever something was flagged. So what we were able to do with SnapLogic Agent was to automate that account review process, which has, again, the immediate benefit of saving those 25 hours so the reps can do something more productive with their time, but also it means that any fraud that does get detected gets flagged instantly instead of having to wait for hours, potentially, until the rep can get to it. So the result of integrating the SnapLogic-powered AI features into the fraud prevention process is that it becomes more accurate, it becomes more timely, and it delivers better outcomes to DCU's members. Still in the finance and banking space, Independent Bank had a nice problem, a rapidly growing business, but that meant that the IT team was struggling to keep up with the increasing demands that come with that growth. So they needed to change something, and what they came up with was using AgentCreator to build GenAI-powered voice and web agents that could help deal with common actions, things like authenticating users, resetting passwords, that sort of thing. But those repetitive actions were taking up 80% of the help desk volume. And so being able to automate some of those common actions delivered outsized results. But it's not a question of replacing the IT team. Again, it's a growing business. Their skills and expertise are absolutely invaluable. The reverse, the AI is helping the help desk reps progress more rapidly from level 1 to level 3, up to 6 times faster, in fact. There's a great example of how AI improves outcomes for everyone, for the users, but also for the employees taking advantage of it. So what happens is when a request comes in from a user, it goes to this voice AI agent, and the LLM behind that is generating the responses and putting together any actions that are required to deliver against a request or to escalate to a human if it's not one of those common actions that are fully automated. Finally, in the hospitality space, we have an example of Accor Plus. So this is a membership program of the Accor hotel brands in the Asia-Pacific region. It covers over 1,000 locations across 20 countries. And the problem they had in such a diverse operation is job leveling. The job descriptions were in different formats, they were in different languages, they had different expectations, so it was really hard to compare and put in place unified processes across that wide domain. So remember, SnapLogic AI agents are the same pipelines that you're already familiar with, and what we put in place at Accor Plus was a pipeline that could process existing job descriptions, ingesting them from PDFs, so unstructured data, validate that format, put it all together for SAP SuccessFactors, which was a tool that Accor Plus HR was using, but also save them out as PowerPoint decks, which are easier to access for review and stakeholder presentation. But yes, it might be worth defining what is an agent. So AI agents are effectively a new digital workforce that's working for us and alongside us, as we saw in these examples. They're autonomous systems that are capable of managing complex workflows on their own, but also empowering individuals and organizations to operate more efficiently. SnapLogic AgentCreator empowers enterprises to design, deploy, and manage those AI agents so they can easily connect to existing data sources, get data AI ready, and work with varying levels of autonomy depending on the task to complete the objectives they've been given. The SnapLogic pipelines that underpin these AI agents have the ability to reach out to large language models, vector databases, and whatever other information is required to deliver on the agent's goal. This is important because, as we've heard, access to data is the stumbling block that many AI adoption projects fail against, and it's what prevents many of these promising pilots, demos, what have you, from actually reaching production scale and delivering measurable business value. So that's why AgentCreator is so important, because it's easy. Using SnapLogic's low-code, no-code development environment, you can create and deploy agents visually. It's flexible. It works with whatever large language model you have. It can work multimodally. It is future-proof against new developments that might come in this market. And it is safe and secure because it has built-in observability, evaluation, and data security. Let's talk about all of these. So here are some of the big new features that we're bringing to AgentCreator 3.0. The first one is the Prompt Composer to help develop even faster AI development at the speed of thought. The second is the Agent Visualizer, AI that explains itself, that can be understandable for humans. And in that vein, Human in the Loop, AI agents that can collaborate with humans and reach out to humans for approval or confirmation of their actions. And finally, security and governance over the data and the access to that data that is required for the agents to deliver against their goals. The problem with a lot of AI projects is that they run into an issue of disconnected islands of data. Enterprises have information about their customers, but it's dotted around all over the place in a variety of different systems, and there's no easy way to put it all together to get a 360-degree view of a particular issue, a particular customer, whatever it might be. So to demonstrate these new features that we've been talking about, we'll show a system with several different AI agents that connect to different data sources and that all operate in concert with the ability to invoke users' input and confirmation when required. So Jeffrey, why don't you show the customer agents that we built, and then we can start going into some of the new features.
Understanding every nuance of your relationship with your customer is difficult and almost impossible for any business. What if an AI agent could be that hub that doesn't just consolidate, but surfaces a truly holistic customer profile. Ensuring your customers are happy and satisfied is hard. To deliver a true 5-star experience, you have to understand a customer's pain points, ensure they are experiencing value when using the product, have visibility into how things are actually going, and expanding adoption and usage. Anything else is honestly a best guess and hopeful thinking. Here at SnapLogic, we have built a multifaceted AI agent that looks at multiple customer vectors, including items like contract purchase details, support cases, product bugs, product usage metrics, marketing event interests and attendance, and other areas too. This helps in getting a true understanding of what really is happening with a customer. Here is Slack, one of the many ways to interface with the agent. We run the agent on the internal customer success channel. Let's take a look at the output. It includes top key findings, recommended actions, and a quick summary of the most recent support tickets. We have buttons to help with composing email updates to the customer and a button to look into the detailed PDF report. When used in unattended mode, if an urgent matter is detected, an escalation can be initiated. If you want to learn more about the agent, check it out on the Agent Showcase, where we will take a look at the full report and also dive into how the agent is built and operates. Dominic, back to you.
Thanks, Jeffrey. So now let's talk about how some of the new features I just teased can help people build in this environment. The first thing that anyone who started playing with generative AI will tell you is that building good prompts is hard. There's a process of trial and error to make sure that you get the results that you need. And it can get annoying to have to work in effectively a batch mode, as if we're just hitting things with hammers and not have direct view of the results of the changes that we're making. Users need specialized tools, ones that work interactively at the speed of thought, in order to develop AI agents fast, that will go into production, will not languish as demos, and that will deliver results to end users. And that's exactly what the Prompt Composer does. It takes the experience that SnapLogic has from our customers that have already been using our previous iterations of our AI features, and it delivers new capabilities to help you work significantly faster. So first thing is you can see the data, the prompt, and the results all together in a single view, and you can develop the prompt interactively with an immediate view of the results of the changes that you make, so you can quickly hone in on the results that you're looking for. And there's an AI assistant to help you do that. So there's AI to help you access the capabilities of AI. And again, the goal is just to make the development that much faster, that much easier, and let you get to the bit where you're actually providing value to your users. So let's see what that looks like in practice.
Thanks, Dominic. As rightfully mentioned, prompts are instruction sets that make AI work. The normal process is complex, as you need to be able to reference your data, create the prompt, test the outputs, and finally, iterate to refinement. Now, it doesn't have to be so difficult, so we made it easier. Here is a new prompt workbench. On the left side, you have access to your data. This includes the data schema and variable typing. A sample set of your data is also mapped so you can visually see how your data looks. In the example, you can see that the data is structured, well organized, and easy to understand. It's ready for use. Instead of manually going through the data and creating a prompt, let's leverage the assistant to write out what we want. In the middle here, we get our prompt written out in the prompt editor, where we can manually edit if needed. Let's push this over to the LLM and see what we get. On the right side, we get our rendered template with the data inserted. And on the bottom, we can see the LLM response. Now, if the output isn't exactly what you want, well, then iterate. All you need to do is update the prompt in the middle using either the assistant or the prompt editor and push the new prompt back to the LLM for another response. Easy. Back to you.
So once we've carefully crafted our prompt, it would be good to understand exactly what's going on behind the scenes. The whole point of agents is that they call each other, they figure out which capabilities are available and which are going to be necessary to achieve their task. So it's important to have that transparency into how the AI is making those decisions so that you can trust the outcomes, so that you can audit them if they do something untoward, and you can refine them over time, further improving the results. The agent visualizer gives us full transparency into how the AIs are making decisions about which tools, which capabilities to invoke, so that you can trust the outcomes, so you can audit them and understand what's going on, and refine it over time so that you can get even better value for users. So once we've built these agents, we need to understand them to be able to trust them. And the key to that is the agent visualizer. The agent visualizer lets us see how these agents are interacting with each other, how they're calling each other, how the decision-making process works, so that we can have that trust, but we can audit, we can understand what's going on under the hood, and we can refine it over time to provide even better results to end users.
Thanks, Dominic. As you mentioned, there is a trust issue with AI agents. How do you really trust what it is doing? Also, as a developer, how do you trust that you built it right? Well, that's what we are addressing here with Agent Visualizer. It helps developers truly understand how the AI agent runs. The left-hand side of the Agent Visualizer automatically creates a visual flow diagram. As the agent makes decisions and leverages sub-agents, it maps it out and documents the activities. This is great, as a picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, if you want to actually see those words, look at the detailed log at the right. At the top, you can see the requests that the agent received. From there, the next step is for the agent to interpret and understand what that request is about and take some preliminary actions. We see the next step, the inner workings of the agent, starting to call sub-agents and getting these sub-agent responses. You gotta love getting a glimpse of the reasoning that happened and the actions taken. See the associated parameters and results for each step? It's now simpler to see the why, the what, and the how inside your agents. In the end, building trust and confidence that the agent and the leveraging of sub-agents is architected, designed, and built correctly. Back to you.
So as we all know, SnapLogic is the right tool to integrate disparate data sources. What we've done is we've added agentic AI and human oversight. So if an automated pipeline is running and it encounters some sort of situation that needs human input, it now has the ability to stop and prompt a user for confirmation or approval of whatever is encountered, and then resume and complete the automated portion of the workflow. We call this human in the loop. And this is important because adopting AI requires us and our users to be able to trust AI. In a recent survey that we ran, 79% of IT decision makers told us that implementing and deploying AI agents is a key focus for them in the coming year. But data security tops the list of concerns that prevents them from doing that, closely followed by fear of data privacy. The good news is that new standards are emerging for centralized control of AI agents and capabilities in order to have governance and visibility over what they're doing. So the first thing we need to do in order to be able to deploy AI agents with confidence is to secure the data that they are using. So AuthGuard, which is a new feature built into SnapLogic APIM, will let you anonymize and mask the data that is provided and enforce access controls on that data. In addition, you can throttle for quality of service so that your systems don't get overwhelmed by AI agents hammering them. More on AuthGuard and the other new features on SnapLogic APIM in the session later on. And when it comes to managing all of the AI agents, there are new protocols emerging, in particular the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. And so SnapLogic is adding support for MCP both to manage agents developed with SnapLogic AgentCreator, as well as other agents developed outside the SnapLogic platform. So all SnapLogic pipelines can be turned into MCP servers, as can SnapLogic managed APIs. And those MCP servers can be launched and managed in your domain so that agents can use or become MCP servers. If you'd like to try out all of these features with your own data and systems, reach out to us and we'll get you set up right away so that you can see how quickly you can start developing and deploying AI agents in production and getting some of these returns.